Hello, everyone. I hope you are very well. Can you hear me? Yes, let's say yes, yes. Good, good, good. Um, Before we start, as we wait for a few more participants, I will invite you to close your eyes. Just close your eyes and start connecting with the breath. So closing your eyes, take a deep inhale all the way in, long exhale all the way out. Take a deep inhale all the way in, long exhale out. Becoming aware of your breath, bringing full awareness to the breath. I invite you to arrive in this space, softening into the body, breathing gentle in the nose and out through the nose. Before we start the session, as you keep your eyes closed, I invite you to bring your awareness into your heart center. So dropping into your heart, I will chant a couple of mantras before we start the session. So these mantras they have the purpose to align us and to be in the right channel so we can have this conversation today. So just keep your eyes closed as you breathe gentle in the nose and out to the nose. Om Shamani Wa Akiti Shamana Om Shamani Wa Akiti Shamana Adayani Wa Shamanamastu Ardayani Wa Shamanamastu Omano Yata Washushaka Shati Omano Yata Washushaka Shati Omano Omano Bhadra Ratsa Yantu Omano Bhadra Ratsa Yantu Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Take a deep inhale all the way in. Hold your breath at the top. 3, 2, 1, release. One more time, deep inhale all the way in. Long exhale. Last one, in, deep inhale. And then long exhale to the mouth. And open your eyes. Welcome everyone to our introduction session to the spiritual practice Jnana Buddha Shiva. It's a great pleasure for me to share this space with all of you, to just have a conversation about, what this practice is all about. This is a information night. I'm not here to sell you anything or to persuade you to join any group. I'm just here to share some practices that I have been following for a while and that I've been helping to spread for people. So I'm here to share some information, and if you feel like you resonate with the information I'm about to share, there is an opportunity to join this spiritual practice with a new group I'm planning to start, and then you can become part of this practice as we keep, connecting with the other students that are already part of the practice. So in the session tonight, we have students that have been doing this practice for about a couple of years. I have been doing this practice for about, 3 years, 3.5 years. And then some students have been doing this for 6 months, 8 months, 2 years. And that's how we have been growing the group. Some people come and go. And so far in Australia, we have about 20 students that are spread, in different states. There are students in Europe as well, in Japan, and in the US. And my role is to spread the knowledge of these practices. So we are going to be together for about 70 more minutes, I guess. And yeah, I'm going to share some information about this practice, where it comes from, what is the purpose of it, how it works. And at the end, I will also share some photos with you about some of the activities we have already done as a group. And perhaps one of the members who are already students of this practice might be willing to share a testimonial about why they are part of this group and what they have received out of this. I'm a student as well. I'm not a teacher in this practice. I'm a student like any other students, and I just have the role to coordinate the students and to lead the group, but I'm also a student. I'm not a teacher of this. We have a teacher, and that teacher is our spiritual teacher who is based in Bali, and he's the person that shared the knowledge with us, okay? So let's get started. The practice is called Jnana Buddha Shiva. So Jnana, or Jnana, actually that's the way you say it. Jnana means holy knowledge. And when we talk about the holy knowledge, we're talking about the knowledge that is beyond the mind, the knowledge of nature, the knowledge of the universe, the spiritual knowledge, which is the only pure knowledge that actually exists. In yoga, it is said that all the knowledge that comes through the eyes, through my ears, through my experience, is always contaminated, because to get the knowledge from the outside world, it comes through my senses, it goes into my mind, and the conditioning of my own mind will filter the knowledge, and the knowledge will always be disturbed. Even what I'm sharing with you right now is contaminated, because I heard it from someone, or I received it myself, and then my own mind will kind of, disturb this knowledge based on my own conditioning, beliefs, and everything else. So all of us, we have this knowledge that is conditioned. But the holy knowledge is the knowledge that comes directly from the source. So Jnana, which means holy knowledge, it has to do with this knowledge that comes from the source of everything. I believe that you're here because you believe that there is something more than this material existence, which is all the material things that we see around us. So the Jnana, holy knowledge. Buddha is the God within, or Atman, or soul. Same thing. Buddha, when you talk about the Buddha, Buddha is not a person. Buddha is a state that we reach. The Buddha became a Buddha. That person had a name and became the Buddha. Now, we all have a Buddha within, or a God within, and that's the Atman. The Atman is the original name for something that in English we call the soul. Okay? So the soul is a translation of the original name of it, which is Atman, and that's the God within ourselves. And Shiva is the God outside of us, the God that's everywhere but nowhere, the greater consciousness. Some people call it love, some people call it just God. In our practice, we call it Shiva. But that Shiva that we talk about is the same energy or the same. It's difficult to explain it because it's not energy, it's not an entity. It's something that's beyond all of that stuff. You know what I mean? So we're trying to explain certain concepts that we need to conceptualize something that is beyond the concepts. So Shiva is that God outside of us that, as I said before, some people call it love, some people call it greater consciousness. Now, some people call it the universe. And there's something there that I can explain later, because the universe is material. It's made of the same things that you and I are made, So Jnana Buddha Shiva has to do with the holy knowledge, the God within, and the God outside of us. Okay? So this practice that we practice, this spiritual practice, has the purpose, to purify the mind so we can connect with the God within. And then by worshiping the God outside of us, we can receive the holy knowledge in the purpose of awakening, which is the ultimate thing, spiritual awakening. That's the ultimate, will it happen in this lifetime for me or for anyone? I don't know. It's very rare. It's very difficult. But in the process to get there in this lifetime or in many more lifetimes, what happens? We purify the mind, so there is less suffering happening for us. And that's the ultimate. The nature of the mind, has jealousy, has envy, all these things that create suffering. The nature of the soul or the Atman or the God within is all the good qualities, the good qualities of generosity or compassion, kindness. So every time we suffer, suffering only occurs in the mind. It's a mind event, it's a psychological event. Suffering is just a psychological thing created by the mind, But if we're able to purify the mind with this practice, we will be able to recognize who we really are and connect with that God within. And that God within is the Buddha within us, or the Atman, or the soul. And by doing this work, plus the work of the Guru, we can purify the mind, so we become more free of all the constrictions of the mind, of all our post-trauma, all our stuff that is there all the time. And then we can connect more with the soul. And by doing that, through the soul and the worshiping of, the God outside, Shiva in this case, we can receive the holy knowledge. Okay? So stay with me with this. So someone who is devoted to the God outside, whatever the God, the greater consciousness, someone who is devoted to the God outside and is fully aware of the power of the Atman, of your own soul. You should be kind of aware of the power of your soul, and you are devoted to the God outside. By undertaking the practice of Jnana Buddha Shiva, which is the practice we practice, by taking this practice and by receiving the blessing of the Guru, very important, the holy knowledge of Jnana will grow within you. Simple. It should become, so when we talk about devotion, that's the bhakti element of it. Bhakti practice, or the bhakti yoga that we practice, bhakti is devotion, and that's what we pray. And how do we pray? We chant mantras. So what I did at the beginning, I did 2 mantras. The first mantra was to kind of tune into the channel, into the right channel for us to be in the right frequency. So then, I can be here, we can be here. And then the second mantra was a mantra that allows us to align the soul with the heart and the mind. So all of us are here for the same purpose. That's why I did chant those mantras at the beginning, so we can all be aligned in that way. So someone who is devoted to the God outside and is aware of the power of the soul, if you follow this practice and you receive the blessing of Guru, then the holy knowledge can grow within you. So what is the purpose of that? Why is this important? Because the practice will help you purify the mind and eliminate suffering. That's good. That's a good promise. As long as you do your practice, though, like that's the thing. We all want this. We join it. You don't do anything, for whatever practice you do. I always say, just do it. You have to choose your practice, what resonates with you. Just do your practice. As long as you do your practice, you're gonna be fine, But that's what happened. We stopped doing our practice. So whatever you practice, do it. It's very important. And then, if you do your practice, the mind gets purified, and then we eliminate suffering. And we can we don't learn. It's we remember to live the life from the soul, from the Atman, instead of from the ego of the mind. That's what leads you to suffering. Always, 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 always. And then as you purify, then when we meet Guru does the blessing, and with the blessing of Guru, we can receive the knowledge. That's how it goes. Now, when you attain the holy knowledge, this happens, by the way. It's not, it happens, it's an increase gently, slowly, right? But as you start attaining knowledge, this will influence your mind, and then brilliant inspirations. That's those words. I didn't write those words, but the brilliant inspiration will be realized. And then the mind will also be inspired to take action that will be aligned with the greater good of all. So you become a force of God himself, and you do good for others. But only after you have purified your mind. Because for some of us, I know some people, I'm not saying you are in this group, but most people, they want to go and help people to feel better, because they're not feeling great. So the idea of this, you purify your mind first, you remove your suffering. Only when your suffering is being removed to a certain level, it's the less suffering you remove, the more you can do for others. And that others could be your children, your family, your community, the entire world, So I have this book here. These are all my mantras, by the way. This is our teacher, and these are all the mantras I've been learning. So the purpose of this is in my book, realizing the true self, or the God within, to achieve harmony amongst fellow humans and nature. Okay? So that's what it's about. It's about, realizing who we really are, but not intellectually, because we all want to do these things, and we're very intellectual. We think, I want to read this book, and I'm a soul, I'm a spirit, so whatever we call it sometimes. But it's all an intellectual thing. It's not a real realization. How do you get there, though? By doing a spiritual practice like this practice. This practice allows us to realize ourselves, our true self, not through the mind, but through the practice. All right? And the purpose of this is to achieve harmony amongst humans in nature, so we can live a world that is more in peace, Let me check something here. Yeah, and this process, of course, can culminate with a spiritual awakening, or as we know, Kundalini awakening, right? That's the ultimate. If you are doing this because you want to achieve that, it's going to be very hard, because, that's the ultimate, but we might be very far behind. We don't know. For me, I think I probably need like a 1,000 more lifetimes to get there. So in the meantime, I do it because it feels right to me. I do it because it makes me a better person. I can do more things for the community. I have more peace in my heart. And I feel super connected, like, of course, I have challenges like all of us, and I experience suffering, but I feel more connected than ever. Like I know I am protected, like in a way I haven't felt in my life. I'm so protected and guided. So the level of trust that I have within me for my own life is quite profound for myself. It's like, because this practice gave me that deeper level of trust. So which are the practices? Well, we chant mantras. Excuse me. We chant mantras like what I just did. I did some mantras. So for our regular group, we have, a sequence of mantras, and we chant about for an hour. That's kind of the full practice. When you start, of course, you don't start with the full practice, because it's kind of a process. So the way my teacher or guru explains it is, imagine you have like a glass, and the glass is stained. You have to polish it, right? So at the beginning, you have to start with certain products to polish it a little bit. You polish it, and then you change the product. You become more refined. So you add other mantras that help you polish that. And then when the glass is shiny, or you take all the rubbish inside, that's more shiny. And that's when Guru comes, and that's the blessing. So without doing the mantras, whatever blessings we receive from our Guru, it bounces, because it's like we have to purify ourselves. And that's why we wear white. White is part of our practice. So every time we chant the mantras or we do a gathering, we put white to symbolize purity, and to attract that energy as well. Okay. So we chant mantras. We do some pranayama techniques, breathing techniques. Pranayama is breathing. So we have a few different techniques, and all those things are explained. And then the idea of this is that, you do your daily practice. And of course, none of this is mandatory. You do as much as you want, really. Ideally, you do it every day, but you do as much as you can. But the more you do, the quicker you get there. It's like everything. It's like going to the gym. If you want to build muscles, you need to go every day or twice a day. We do fasting as well, and silence practices. You can do it by yourself. We never do it in groups here. We have done it in the past, but it's not a regular practice. When we go to the ashram, though, we do that at the ashram. So we do fasting, and we spend, a weekend fasting and in silence and just praying. Part of the practice is the blessing from Guru. It's when Gurus does the blessing. We do ceremonies, pujas. It's when we gather together and we just chant together, mantras. And Munubrata is a ceremony we do at the ashram. And some of us, not everyone, go to the ashram, twice or three times a year, and we just go there and we stay at the ashram, and we meet the Guru, and we do our practice. So, as I explained before, it's a daily practice of chanting mantras. If you just do that, that's a good start. You chant your mantras. Once a week, we meet with the group online. So it's an online gathering that I lead every gathering. So every week, for the current group, we have a group that's been practicing for a while. So that group meets every Friday at 6 in the morning. At 6 in the morning is the group. And then I'm planning to start another group with the beginners mantras in a way, but with the initiation mantras at 7 in the morning on Friday. It's because then you move into the 6 a.m. group, and that's how we rotate. I start a new group and then they move into the other one. So it's a daily practice, weekly online gatherings. Once a month, because it's fun, we get together, we rent a hall in Jnana, and I take the harmonium and we take candles and we chant together in the same place, and we bring some food and some dal and some rice and we bring desserts, and we just chant together, and then we just for the community. So the purpose of this is to have community as well. And it's beautiful. We get together, we eat, and then we talk. We do something called satsang or sangha, which is basically just sit around and talk about spirituality. And we answer questions, and We take notes and we ask things to Guru, and then Guru might send the answers with me. Yeah. So from the weekly session, we have weekly online sessions. Once a month, Guru comes in and he runs the session for us, which is great. So it's like three weeks I run the session, and then once a month, or in the fourth week, Guru comes, and then he runs the session. And he does the blessing online and all that stuff. And then once a year, whoever feels like going, you can go to the ashram. I organize gatherings or retreats, and we go there and we get the blessing from him, and we stay there, and we stay at the ashram, and we do prayers at the ashram. It's very profound. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's pretty much the practice, really. I'm going quite fast with this, but I thought in the past we started talking about what spirituality is and why we do this. But basically, the purpose of this practice is to help us find more peace in our heart and remember, like, for real, who we are by doing the mantras. And that's all we do. And then we have different options to get together. This is not a paid service, by the way, right? I donate my time, I run the groups and all the practices, and I just this is my karma yoga, so I do it for the benefits of everyone and the world. You know what I mean? So if you decide to join this practice, you don't have to pay anything. We donate money. I donate money every month to the ashram. Again, it's not mandatory. You donate what you can. So we send a monthly donation to the ashram, to the guru, so he can buy food and he can keep building the ashram. There's an ashram there that with the funds that everyone provides, they buy, bricks, and they buy a few bags of cement, and they build something, you know what I mean? And they're very grateful because they're building that actually for us, Anyway, so this is the guru. This is our teacher. He's a very funny man, very humble. It's like a little kid, very wise, of course, a really good friend. He's a friend. Yes, there's some information there. He's the prime guru and the chairman of the Indonesian Ashram Association, who is responsible for many ashrams. He's the founder of the Shanti Vijaya International Study Group. And yeah, he has students all around the world. And my role, he named me. It's funny because he gave me a name. And I was like, that's too big, the name, too big. But anyway, he wanted to name me. I'm kind of the international student leader for all the students, So I get to coordinate things with all students who want to talk to him. Yeah, so I met him. I want to tell you how I met this guy. I was running a retreat in Bali for the first time in my life. And then before going there, I booked a experience called Malukat. Malukat is when you go in the waterfalls and you get water purifications. So I booked that online. And yeah, we went there, we did the Malukat. And then on the way out, the tour guide or the hotel person who I booked this experience from, he said, there is a priest who's going to give a talk. And I was like, okay. We went there, and I listened to Guru, and he started talking, and like, wow, I really want to be his student. So he just came from me like, I need to become his student. So I spoke with him. I said, look, I want to be your student. How can I learn from you? Do you teach anything? And he said, yeah, I do some online, perhaps some online groups, and I teach in certain countries. But then I left Bali, and I never saw him again. I never, ever saw him again. And I went back to Bali in 8 months. So after 8 months, I went back to Bali. I ran another retreat. I booked another experience. I go to the waterfall. I finished the waterfall, and there he was again. You know. So I went to his place with another group of people, and there he is talking again. And again, he gave the most amazing speech, and he does some blessings, and he does a ceremony. And I was like, wow, this is great. So that day, without me asking anything, he asked me for my phone number. I said, can I have your WhatsApp? And then I gave him my number. And then that night, around midnight, he texted me and he said, Christian, I want you to be my student. And I freaked out. I really freaked out. So I didn't respond like in 5 days because I knew what this meant. I knew that this was going to be, I already knew that was going to be the start of a big transformation in my life when I had to let go of a lot of things. And I freaked out. So I took my time and I didn't want to respond. And then finally I did respond. And I told him, I'd love to be your student, but I have a lot of resistance. I don't want to be your student. I know I have to, but I don't want to because I know what it means. And he was like, of course, Mr. Christian. He called me Mr. Christian. Of course, Mr. Christian, the mind will resist this. So the mind will resist this work because when you purify the mind, and when you do this work and you connect with your soul, it means the death of the ego, the death of the mind, the death of all the things that we believe are true that are contracted in the mind. So it's not an easy process, really. I mean, it does bring a lot of things, but it will trigger you all the way because it's like you have to imagine like you have, I don't know, I guess you have a piece of cloth, right? And this cloth is dirty with stuff because you've been cleaning your car. And then this cloth, you want to clean it. So it's wet and it's dirty. To clean it, you have to squeeze it, and then all the stuff is going to come out. So in the process of purification, yeah, you want to be like this to receive again. So then we removing the impurities. So we are squeezing, you're squeezing the piece of cloth, and the stuff is going to come out. It has to come out. That's why I always say, to heal, we have to feel. We cannot heal without feeling it. And the practice will do that for us. Anyway, so then this was about 2.5, 3 years ago. I became his student. I had no idea what he was teaching at all. Like the students now, they ask all these questions. I was like, I want to be your student. And he said, okay, let's meet this day at this time online. I was already in Australia. And then he sent me some mantras. He sent me some mantras. He said, okay, when I meet, and we're gonna study. Okay. So I'm gonna study. I was like with my mind. I studied, I had my pen, my paper, and I wanted to learn things. My mind was obsessed with knowledge. I'm an engineer, by the way. It's like I have a high intellect. I like to learn things, and I've studied my whole life. I did all these things from my years to learn things, to know things. I always wanted to know. And then we get together, and then he said, okay, we're gonna chant. And the same way I started this session, he was like, okay, close your eyes. And then he said, yes, chant the mantras. We chanted mantras for 35 minutes. We finished, and he was like, Om Namah Shivaya, I'll see you next week at the same time. And I was like, okay. And then he was like, I want to meet you twice a week and then we just meet and we chant the mantras. And I never asked any questions. So after like 2 or 3 months by doing this practice, it felt good, by the way. I was like, okay, so what is this all about? What are we doing? And he said, well, this is Tantra. This is the original spiritual Tantra. And that's what we're doing here. And I said, well, what do you mean Tantra? I said, yeah, this is the Tantra, not the black Tantra where they're focused on, because in the West, we associate Tantra with sexual practices and pretty much, indulging the senses. This is quite the opposite. It's a Tantra, the original one, the way it was at the beginning, where it's a pure devotion, and you just chant mantras. And just by chanting the mantras you don't even need to know the meaning of the mantras, because the mantras themselves, they're kind of magic spells. That's what mantras are, really, for us Westerners. It's like abracadabra, abracadabra, and you get a rabbit out of it. This is kind of the same, but then you remove the darkness within. Or you do the same, and then you connect with the channel of God. So, and then he started sharing a few things. And then I went there once. I went to the ashram to meet him again. And he said, come and stay. So I went there and stayed with my sleeping bag, and I slept on the floor. And I did like 2 or 3 days of silence and practice. And yeah, it's been quite transformative in my life for the last 3 years. It's been a very profound experience. Yeah, so here, this is a group, one of the groups we have taken there. So that's the ashram, by the way. You see, it's like all at the back, that's rice fields. That's Shiva there at the park, and that's us, like receiving a talk, uh, you know? Yeah, so this was 2 or 3 years ago, I think. So that's him again, so he's our teacher. And yeah, he's a guru, you know. What makes someone a guru, right? It's someone who does this process like I am doing, like some people are already doing. And then we transcend the limitations of the mind and the body, right? So we have kind of a direct phone line with source. It's interesting because in the past, I have had some students that have been part of this practice, and they say, yeah, it's good, but I'm very focused on my spiritual practice, and this is kind of the type of spiritual practice that I follow. It's different. And it's like, man, this guy has a direct phone line to God, kind of. You know what I mean? Because he's already there. He already went to the top of the mountain. He came down and he's saying, you want to go to the top of the mountain? I have been there. I'll take you there if you want me to be your guide. Instead of us saying, no, I want to watch a YouTube video to how to get up the mountain. Or I want to read this book about this guy who met someone who went to the mountain. You know what I mean? Here you have the guy who went to the top of the mountain. He's coming down and he's saying, do you want to come to the top of the mountain? I will take you there. Because if I go by myself, I know I'm going to get distracted. I'm going to get tired. I'm going to be in the middle and I'm going to say, oh, this looks nice, a nice view here. Or I'm going to go halfway, I'm going to come back and say, yeah, I went to the top of the mountain, but I've never been there because my ego might deceive me in the process. So the guru is someone who is there to help you connect with your inner guru. That's what the guru does. So when you bow to the guru, ultimately you're bound to yourself. And that's the thing. And for some people, that's very triggering, right? Because of the power. In some cultures, the guru is the book. It's a book. And people feel more comfortable because it's a book. I can bow to the book, but I'm not bow to a person. You know what I mean? But ultimately, I am my own guru. And we all say that, yeah, I am my own guru. Yes. We all are our own guru. However, we're not there yet. We have not experienced that unless you are already awakened. You already had your Kundalini awakening. So the guru is a teacher who did the whole process and is already there. I was talking to him 2 days ago, 3 days ago. And then he was telling me, what people say, he told me the story for some reason. I don't know what we're talking about. He said, look, a lot of people don't trust this work because in the past they have bowed to, or they have followed fake gurus, right? And they have followed them and they have bowed to them, whatever they have helped. And he was like, you shouldn't worry about it, because what counts is your intention. It's not what the other gurus did. It's your intention. It's like if you are good, like if you follow to the guru and you bow to a fake guru, you're never bowing to the person. You're bowing to the divine. So it still counts. It's like it still counts because you have a genuine intention. And he was explaining that, and the way he said it, of course, in more beautiful words that I can express. But he was saying that when you have that devotion, for divine, for God Himself, you know what I mean? it doesn't matter if you were worshiping the wrong God, because your intention is the same. By the way, this practice is not a religion. Okay, this practice is not a religion. This practice is, when I bring that forward. That's our last group. We were there in October. Steve is there. Maren is there. She's also here. Kim, Lucas. Who else is there? Mats. Yeah. So this is part of the group that went there we went there in October. We stayed there at the ashram. And we did practice. Yes, it looks very dogmatic, right? And a lot of people don't like it because you have to wear whites and stuff like that. But that's the protocol, and it's like, okay, that's the protocol. I follow the protocol. So in this practice, we support all religions, because in this practice, it's believed that, every guru that came in the past, like Jesus was a guru, Muhammad was a guru, Buda was a guru, Moses was a guru, all the gurus from the past, they came with the same knowledge. Love each other, be good to each other, be kind to each other, forgive, live your life from the heart, create community, be good people. So every guru comes with the same knowledge, even this guru here. Everyone comes with the same knowledge, which is basically love each other and take teachings to their inner circle. You know what I mean? But then what happened? These teachings, followers, they make it a religion. After that, after 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, and then the religion becomes tradition. And then tradition becomes culture. So when it becomes tradition, then the initial knowledge is gone. People just celebrate, they baptize because they baptize. People get married in whites for what? They have to just do it because it's a tradition. You know what I mean? So all of those things, are tradition that people follow. But they stop, actually. They stop following the knowledge. And like religion is like guru, that's what Guru explained it. He's like, religion is like a mango, At the beginning, when the mango it starts, no one's like it. And then as it starts growing, it's still green. Only a few people like the mango because it's green. Like how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people. See, 12 people. 12 people like the mango because it's green. Then the mango starts to mature, and then everyone likes the mango. You know what I mean? And then what happened? The mango start decaying. And then some people don't like it anymore. And then some people hang into the mango and they just want to eat it. And they force others to eat the mango because that's the best food. And then the mango start rotting, and then it makes people sick. So that's when another guru comes. And then this guru comes to say exactly the same thing. You know what I mean? Love each other, be good people, do these practices, breathe this way, chant these mantras. So, yeah, so I guess with this practice, it's a non-secular practice. So it's it's not non-secular. It's not a religion, and it supports all religion. We said that there's goodness in all of them. The problem is that people with minds that are not pure, they have done the wrong thing in the past. So, yeah, see, it's another group. That's Pandora there. Hello. And then, yeah, like this is the ashram. This is when we go there, that's Marilyn there. And we go there and we do practice. We sit on the floor. So you see here on the right, it was a storm. Remember there were the floods in Bali? So there was a massive storm, and so there are volunteers there, and they put plastics all around these so we could sleep there. So we slept on the floor, And we had these massive storms that were happening, and it was so cool anyway. But yeah, so these are things that we do. This is one of the waterfalls. We did like a very special prayer that only we did there. So this is a blessing part, which is part of the practice. This is us going there and doing some previous practice. This is a pranayama practice. That one. That's part of the pranayama breathing we do, which actually is to activate the kundalini and bring the energy in and the master to purify. It's a mantra that we do here to clean our cells, to renew the cells, and to get rid of the bad cells as well. This is us doing karma yoga. So that's so that's me with Guru. That was a long time ago. That's like 3 years ago. And this is the last time. Look at the Mike and his command. Command is a student, a local student. That's from the last of it. Okay, that's command and that's Kitut. They cook for us. They cook for us. They drive us around. Really, really good friends. Yeah, they became friends. So this is when we do retreat in the ashram. And the guys cook for us and they serve us. It's just this is us doing karma yoga, cleaning, and other things that we do there. Yeah, so that's what we do. That's the practice about, it's very simple. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I try to make it more kind of relaxed, I guess, and simple. Because that's how it should be, and that's how my teacher teaches to me as well. Sometimes we overcomplicate things, Spirituality is simple. It's simple. And it's about purifying the mind and connect with that part of ourselves that is beyond the mind. Now, it's very important to remember that everything that is beyond the mind, it can never be understood by the mind, right? Do you understand that, right? So everything that is beyond the mind, it cannot be understood by the mind. So this practice is a spiritual practice that is beyond the mind. So when you get your mantras, if you decide to join this study group and you chant the mantras will make no sense to your mind. But the soul will really matter. Now, the soul doesn't feel. The mind does feel. And that's tricky because the reality is that real spiritual work is boring. It's boring in the sense that it doesn't give you a high. You don't feel it in the body, Yes, so the more purified the mind is, the less you feel, the more emotional you become. Because emotional is not just about feeling sad and cry. Emotional is also feeling, those highs and lows. You feel like, oh, super, this is great. And you cry, oh, this is not great. So as you purify the mind becomes less reactive, which means it becomes less emotional, right? So as the mind becomes less reactive and it becomes less emotional, you stop feeling these things. Now, the more pure is the practice, the less you feel, right? So spirits, you can feel spirits. Anyone can feel spirits. Like if you go to Bali and you go to these places that are full of spirits, because in Bali is the land of the gods. That's how they call it, because they worship the spirits. In Bali, they worship the spirits. Any spirits. It's a difference between the spirits and holy source, power, pure. Source up here, up here, spirits are in this realm. It's like next to humans, you know. So you can feel the spirits, but only a few people can feel the holy energy, you know, of a real spiritual practice. So yeah, these days, most people, including myself, not long ago, we do this spiritual work to entertain ourselves because it feels good. You know, we go to a breathwork journey and we breathe strong and we see colors and we see this stuff and we study. It feels good, you know. It takes us away from that feeling not good. But it's just all an emotional ride, up and down, up and down. This spiritual practice is beyond that. It's working from within. Right? So it's difficult to understand. At the same time, it's helping us to purify the mind, to remove all the impurities of the mind. And as we do that, you know, and we do our mantras, we can awaken the soul, and the soul can influence the mind. Yeah, that's how it is. So yeah, you should ask questions. Do you have any questions at all? Anyone would like to ask anything? You are all mutes. I'm gonna allow you to you are allowed to unmute yourself now. I mean, technically, I'm not saying. Yeah, if anyone would like to unmute yourself and ask a question or anything like that, of anything, and if any of you guys who are part of the practice would like to share something about your experience and what have you received out of all of this practice, you can also unmute yourself and share if you feel like you would like to say something about the practice. That's okay. You know.
Hi, Christian. It's Marty. Can you hear me?
Let me find. I did have something here.
Oh God, I don't need a video.
Hello.
I look at Rangers.
Sorry
I ran
about
into
that. I'm gonna put
I ran into a
myself
laundry
as,
door the other day.
pin myself. Good.
No,
right.
seriously. I look
Let
like
me look at
a
some
cross
of my
between Uncle Fester and a
some
Klingon.
notes somewhere as well. So give me a second.
Sure.
Yes. So this practice is a secret practice. Okay. Meaning the mantras are secret mantras. So we cannot find them anywhere. You cannot find them online. There are mantras that are being taught from teacher to student on a one-on-one basis. And it's important to keep the secrecy and the confidentiality of the mantras, because that's how you hold the power of the lineage. You know, there are many different lineages of many different practices in Buddhism, in Hinduism, and, you know, Shaivism. So the mantras contain certain energy. And when we break the lineage and the mantras get spread and they are misused, it affects the power of the lineage as well. The mantras have power. They do have power, you know, and because they have power, that's why we have to keep them secret, because we need supervision. Not from me, but from our teacher, you know, he can help us be supervised according to how we're going. Sometimes I'm going through stuff and I'm like, well, this is when I first started doing this practice. I would say, Guru, I'm struggling with this. This is happening in my life. And he will say, you have to chant these mantras. He will give me special mantras to chant to go through certain things. Or depending on what's happening, he will say, okay, so you need to do this, do that, or don't do that mantra because right now that's not gonna be healthy for you. It's not be good for your health. So in the whole process of purification, awakening, I guess, we need supervision. And the only person who can help us in that process is someone who has already been through the process of the awakening. Okay? And that's the teacher. That's the guru that we call. So for example, he was telling me that he wanted me to go and live there. And I'm like, I told him, I said, no, I don't want to live here. He said, well, I have to supervise you. The time will come when you will have to be here. And I trust that when the time comes, I might just go there and stay there for some time, So the mantras do have power. They are private and confidential. And it's only the guru who has the authority to give us the mantras. In this case, what we do sometimes for the people who want to be part of the practice, I give the mantras, I explain them. So then when guru comes and does the activation of them, then you have the mantras will work. Otherwise, they don't kind of work. So, yes, so that's one element of it. Yeah, any questions about anything, please? I know this could be a lot for some of you. Yeah, please. You can type your questions as well. If you want to type them, if you want to be seen, you can type your questions. So yes, I'm looking at starting a new group on Fridays. Every Friday at 7 in the morning. Okay, so that's the idea. Every Friday at 7 in the morning, we'll start a new group. And initially, the session will go for about 35 minutes, 30 minutes, because we just have a smaller number of mantras. And we just do this. We just chant the mantras. That's it. And then ideally, you want to practice mantras. Yeah, it is 7 a.m. Queensland time. Yes. 35 minutes. And then in a couple of weeks, in a couple of months, I will give you another mantras. And eventually you receive more mantras, as you progress in your own journey. Yeah, that's what it is. And again, the practice is all about purifying the mind and connecting with the source through the process of chanting.
No,
And yeah,
no idea how to do this.
Siwa is kind of the main actor on this, right? Siwa cut my camera. See, he's a bit shy today. So Shiva. And so we pray to Shiva. We really pray to Shiva, and we become the devotees of Shiva until we realize that Shiva is inside of you. It's quite a wonderful thing. You pray to Shiva until you kind of have a realization that Shiva is you. And I've been praying to myself my whole time. But it's an experience. Again, it's not intellectual. I can talk about this stuff.
No.
We pray to Shiva until we realize that Shiva is ourselves. Okay. I'd like to share with you an experience I had at the ashram. I had many experiences at the ashram that are quite profound. One of them, I was doing, this is called japa meditation. This is something we do as well in this practice. So japa, this is a mala. And these days, a mala is more like a fashionable thing. A lot of people that want to look spiritual, they use this. But actually, this is a tool. It's a meditation tool that we use in this practice. So this is a mala, and it has different beats. It has 108 beats. So you use it to meditate and to chant mantras. So we chant Om, and then you go like that, beat by beat, 108 times, and that's one round. When we go to practice at the ashram, we do that for more than one time. And I was meditating, I was doing my practice. And I've been there for like 3 days doing this stuff nonstop. And then I'm doing one of the ceremonies called Pishwa. I'm walking there. And then I'm like, my mind is questioning everything. What am I doing here? I'm sleeping on the floor. I'm starving myself. It's hot, it's humid, it rains sometimes. I could be in a hotel getting a massage. It's like, what am I doing with my life? Following this nonsense practice, praying to something I never ever seen. I could be rich and famous. I'm a smart guy. Here I am. I was just questioning everything, and I was just doing this, and I just kept going. And then I said, look, what is the purpose of this? Like, do you even exist? I'm doing like Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Like, do you really exist? It's just, it's like, what is the purpose of this? And I just started questioning in my head, like strong. I was very disappointed and upset. And then I hear a voice. And the voice said to me, well, what do you want? That was the voice said to me. So I'm keep chanting, and I respond in my head. I said, I want to be peace. I want peace. I want harmony. I want to be happy. That's all I want. And the voice said to me, I am all of that. And I said, okay. And I said, but do you really exist? Like, hey, what is this all about? Do you really exist? And the voice said to me, look around. And I look around, and I see the rice fields, and I see the flowers of the garden, I see the birds, and I see all this beauty. And I see all this stuff. And the voice said to me, I'm everywhere. And then the voice said to me, look up. And I look up, and it's this birds coming, And I had this long conversation. I can't remember everything. So I was like, so why there is so much suffering in the world? Like, this is really true. What is the suffering? What is all of this? Why people suffer? Why there are wars and stuff like that? And the voice says to me, because they forgot about me. And I was like, wow, okay. So how can I have peace? How can I be happy? What do I need to do? And the voice said to me, just keep doing what you're doing. So I just kept doing my thing, and then I just finished my practice. But yeah, that was one of the experiences I had there. And yeah, I get a lot of experiences where I just connect, and I started journaling, and then I have this voice that talks to me, and it guides me about what to do. Yeah, I share this as my own experience, but every experience is different. We all have had experiences like that from people that have been doing the practice. Anyway, so then I'm gonna write it there, mala. So the necklace is called mala, and it has 108 beds or beads.
Oh,
So when you
wow.
chant mantras, there are numbers. You have 3, you do 3 times, you do 7 times, 11, 33, 66, 108, or many rounds of it. Okay, that's what you do. That's how you use this. Okay, are there any more questions? No? Okay, so I am planning to run a initial session on Friday this week at 7 in the morning. And if you're interested to join this practice, I will send you a link, and you say, or you message there, say, I'm interested, I want to join. And then I will send you the mantras. And then this Friday, we will review some of the mantras. We'll do our practice. So I explain every mantra to you, what it's for. We do it together. And then I'll talk to Guru and I'll ask him to do a special session for us next week. So this Friday, we do a session together. Next week, we do another one with him so he can do a blessing. He can introduce himself and you can ask him questions, all the questions you want. Okay? Are there any questions now? Anything that anyone would like to say? No, we're good? Yeah. You know, it's interesting, like, usually when we go to the ashram has a very, thank you. So amazing. What is your name, by the way? Samsung. What is your name? Write it there so I know who you are. And someone who's writing in the chat. So if you can put your name in the chat, the person who wrote that. Marty. Hey, Marty. Thank you. So usually when you do this practice, because this practice is beyond the mind, right? Because this practice is, oh, someone want to unmute. Let me see. Yeah, you should be able to unmute, Marilyn, if you like to, or anyone.
Christian, can you hear me?
So when we do this practice, because it's beyond the mind kind of settles.
Muted.
And
Can you hear
it doesn't, it stops having questions for some reason. Sometimes when we go to the ashram, we go there and people fall asleep straight away. It's fascinating. Cool. So you should be able to unmute yourself, Marilyn, if you want to unmute yourself.
Hi, Christian, I can't unmute. You know, I'm unmuted and you can't hear me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're on mute. You want to talk?
Okay, well, see, yeah, people are
I
trying
can't
to
hear
talk.
you.
Yeah, you can't hear anyone.
Turn his volume up.
I don't hear anyone. Give me 1 second, please.
Turn your volume up.
I can hear you now. And now I can have my mic. Hello, everyone. I can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, speak
Can we all hear each other now?
Yeah, one by one. One by one, please.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah,
We
very
can all hear
loud.
each other.
Hello.
Hello,
Pretty
Marilyn.
sure there's a song in that. Can you hear it?
Marilyn.
All right. My God. I know, I just wanted to say something quickly because I've got to go soon. So this practice is it's life-changing, the mantras. You're not going to understand what the mantras are saying because it's in another language, obviously. But, you know, I asked the question, I asked the guru the question about where am I going to get, you know, the translation for these mantras. And he said to me simply, you will understand. Eventually you will understand. Eventually you will. So I thought, oh yeah, eventually he'll send me the translation. But then I realized, because I've been doing it for a while now, that they don't need any translation. Eventually you understand what every mantra is about. You know, now you don't, the words don't mean anything to you because you haven't done it. This is for the new people, obviously. But after doing it for so long, like I do it every morning, I do my practice every single morning, I understand every word of those mantras, you know. And I think before, and I've learned so much through this practice, and I've learned to live more in my heart, not so much in my mind. And that's what happens, you see, too, because our mind wants to know everything. But sometimes we have to bypass that. And that's how you get to knowing the meaning of, in this case, the mantras, because you're not thinking with your mind, you're thinking with your heart. And that's how you actually get to know the meaning of the mantras. It's life-changing. It really has been life-changing for me, and I'm sure for a lot of us, the students are already doing this practice. And it's just, yeah, I really, really highly recommend this to everyone, to all the new people that haven't started. Do it because you're going to love it in the end. I love it. I live in Sydney, and I try and even go as much as I can when they have to get together, once a month. I try and be there and try and go and just to feel the energy of everybody together in the room, and sing those mantras. And it's so powerful. It's just really, really powerful. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you because don't try and make a meaning of the mantras. The meaning will come when you're ready. So
Thank you, Marilyn. We
That's
love
so
you.
beautiful.
thank you.
Anyone else would like to ask a question or say anything?
I just want to, I'm not sure. Can
Yes.
people hear me?
I
Yep,
can hear
great.
you, yes.
So I was extremely skeptical. I'm just very much on the beginning of my whole journey. I'm only 5 years into the spiritual thing, having moved to the sunny coast. Thank goodness. What a great place. I live at Alex, so sorry, Christian. It's just really hard to get to Yandina on Sundays, but I aim to do that because I know a lot of people that go there. Sorry, but going on to this, when I say I'm skeptical, it was just like it was something that I thought that I wanted to listen to. I was drawn to, and I must admit at the beginning, I was very like, yeah, this is like probably a few years out from where I am. But then as your presentation progressed, it was flipping amazing. And you've obviously got a gift. I guess that by about halfway through, 3/4 of the way through, I was going, yeah, I might want to give this a go. I am a 62-year-old female that has been through a lot of trauma, and I really, I'm worried. I'm asking about the challenge, like the different people that come to this and come to the ashram, which now I understand is in Bali. Been there with Trent twice and with Bree Naomi once, or twice actually. I just what do I want to ask? I'm sorry, I'm all over the place because this has confused me to a certain degree. Oh no, sorry.
Okay, take your time. It's okay.
Yeah. I guess the question is like how patient is everyone with people that aren't quite there yet, but are experimenting with all of this?
We are all in our own journey, right? And there's not much difference between all of us here. We are all very close to each other. Perhaps just maybe a little bit, but we're pretty much in the same place. There's not much difference. So I think there's an element of humility for all of us, knowing that wherever we are, we're very far from being better than others or more advanced than others. So this practice approach students like that. We are all students. I'm a student. I'm learning. You know what I mean? We're all learning, and we're all far from, I guess, from awakening, or maybe not, but we don't know. So I think it's an element of humility from that this practice brings to all of us, an element of of compassion for where we are at and for the challenges we have experienced. And there's an element of kindness that, whatever you do, whatever challenge you have, you bring. This is a self practice of self-love, compassion, and kindness, and patience. because, you know, I explained this to a client, to a friend not long ago. I said, look, you're gonna be ready when you're gonna be ready. And when are you gonna be ready? When you're gonna be ready. We can accelerate the process. You are in the right place. And so it comes with the trust to know that you are where you are. There's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why you stay. There's a reason why you're listening to this right now. And just trust that if you feel drawn to do something like this, just give it a go. I mean, this work is great because it works beyond all the conditioning and the trauma of the mind, because the mind will filter everything. I would say this: any spiritual experience is always filtered by the mind. The mind will add meaning to it, will say it's this, it's the moon, it's whatever. But when you chant these mantras and you follow like a lineage, the work is happening whether you are believing or not believing. As long as you do the work, the soul is happy. And if the soul is happy, that will influence your mind. And that will help you purify and release some of the pain you might be carrying. You know, and the group is just community. We're a community. We're a community of friends. There's no expectation from anyone. You know, the only thing I ask to people all the time is to show up. I mean, for yourself. And if we show up, things happen, you know.
Christian, you're amazing. I know so many people that go on Sundays and all the rest of it. You are incredible, and thank you so much for spending your time to do this. And yep, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a go.
I'm very happy for you, and thank you for your words. I'll take it. But again, it's like, you know, in moments like this, we are guided. So there's nothing special about, you know, when you're guided, like in this moment, what we're doing here, you know, it's like when two or more people get together to talk about me, that's what God said or Jesus said. I don't know who said that. I'm there. You know what I mean? We're here talking about the divine energy. That energy is here, and that energy is present, and that energy is guiding everything. You know, it's nothing special about the person who is talking here. It's just the energy, it's the work. And that's what I say to everyone. I said, look, if you do the work, you know, the rest is just manifest by itself, you know. Well, thank you so much for that. And anyone else would like to ask or say anything?
I'd
All
like
right.
to share just a
Kim would like to briefly say something? I'm just
Yeah, I'd just like to share what the practice has brought for me.
Yes.
Yeah, I find times of peace in my life that I have never had. I've searched my whole life for that peace within, and I've been doing the practice for a couple of years now, and yeah, I can say that I have found times in my life of just silence. And that's definitely what the practice has brought. And then the support just of having a guru, having the community. Yeah, it's been profound. As Marilyn says, it changes your life for the better. So yeah, I'm extremely grateful for the practice, and very pleased that I've been guided to it. I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't looking for a guru or anything like that. But yeah, it found me, and I feel like if anyone's
Terrible.
it's a
Shit.
calling for me. So yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Thank you so much, Kim. Anyone else would like to say, ask any questions or share anything? All right. Anything? I'm doing admin here. I'm just trying to do admin. There you are. Good. All right. Yeah. So that's what the practice is about. It's about finding peace and about remembering who we really are beyond all the conditioning of the mind. Yeah, I don't think what else I have to say. I think that I'm being guided to this moment to share these practices. And it's interesting because, like, look, I'm a human being, I'm a guy, I have a lot of faults, and I made mistakes, and I had my own challenges and demons, and I'm just, so it's I'm just like anyone else, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's a difficult thing to do. But I guess we all are given these challenges in life to to purify ourselves. You know, it's like, I think I said this last Sunday, you know, suffering is here to help us awaken, you know? So the challenges that we experience in life are the ones that say, wake up, you know? So this practice is just a tool to help us navigate that and to get to the other side without having too much suffering. You know? Well, anyway, I'm gonna finish the meeting. It's 8:26. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Please let me know if you want to try it. I will send the mantras and all of that stuff each individually to each one of you for our first session this Friday at 7 in the morning. Okay? Have a beautiful week. Thank you so much for trusting this process, and Om Namah Shivaya. Bye-bye, everyone.